Sometimes we mistake the shadows around us as proof that we've been left behind, as though the silence of heaven means no one is listening. But the truth is, the darkness is not the end of the story. It is the setting for a miracle yet to be revealed. Just as the seed must be buried deep in the soil before it can break through into life, so your soul may need to pass through a season where the light seems hidden, yet growth is taking place where you cannot see. It is in the darkness that your faith is tested, not to weaken you, but to strengthen you. In the light, we see what's ahead, we feel secure, we believe because we can. But in the dark, that's when trust becomes real. That's when you learn to lean on the one who is unseen but never absent. In those moments when your heart aches and your prayers feel unanswered, you are not forgotten, you are being prepared. You see, the greatest transformations rarely happen in the comfort of daylight. Diamonds are formed under pressure, gold is refined in fire, and the most beautiful dawns follow the longest nights. When you're in that night season, it's easy to think nothing is changing, nothing is moving. But light is already on its way, even if you can't yet feel its warmth. If you've ever stood outside before sunrise, you know how it works. At first, everything is still, the air is cold, the darkness is complete. But then, subtly, silently, the edges of the horizon begin to shift. A faint glow creeps in, so delicate you almost doubt it's there. Yet that small change grows, the shadows retreat, and before you realize it, the world is bathed in light. Your situation may feel like it's stuck in the deepest part of night, but even now, the horizon of your life is beginning to change. And here's something powerful. The light often shines brightest in the hearts of those who have known the deepest darkness. The compassion you carry, the strength you've built, the wisdom you've gained, these are treasures that can only be formed in seasons of trial. Your present pain is shaping a future you. It's forging resilience, empathy, and a depth of faith you never knew you had. One day, you will look back and realize that the darkness you feared was actually the place where the most important work was happening in you. Think of the night sky itself. Without darkness, we would never see the stars. The blackness doesn't erase them, it reveals them. In the same way, the challenges in your life are not erasing your worth or your purpose. They are revealing what has been there all along. Sometimes it takes the contrast of struggle to make the beauty of grace shine through. Yes, the darkness can feel overwhelming. It can feel heavy. It can make you question everything, but it is not permanent. It is not the final word, and it is certainly not proof that you've been abandoned. On the contrary, it may be the very space where you will learn how close you are to the source of all light. You might not feel it right now, but every moment spent in that darkness is another moment closer to your breakthrough. The story of your life isn't over just because the chapter you're in feels unbearable. You were never promised a life without valleys, but you were promised that no valley would be walked through alone. Every shadow will give way to light, every night to morning, and every burden will one day make sense in the presence of the one who has been guiding you all along. So when the darkness presses in, when the silence feels suffocating, and when the weight of your struggle makes you wonder if you can go on, remember this: the darkness you face is not the end. It is the very place where light begins to shine. We've all heard that whisper in our hearts, the one that creeps in late at night when the world is still, when your thoughts run wild, and the weight of your burdens feels too heavy to carry. It's the whisper that tells you no one really understands what you're going through, that you're on your own in this fight, that even God has stepped back and left you to figure it all out. That whisper is persistent. It grows louder in seasons of struggle, and if you listen to it long enough, it can convince you to give up before the breakthrough comes. But fear is a liar. It always has been. Fear doesn't speak truth. It distorts it. It takes your current circumstances, wraps them in worst-case scenarios, and presents them to you as if they're inevitable. It feeds on isolation, on making you believe that your story is the only one like it, that no one else has walked this road. But here's the reality. While fear is whispering that you are alone, faith is speaking a much louder, truer word, that you are held, you are seen, and you have never been outside the reach of God's care. Faith reminds you that your life is not an accident and your struggles are not invisible. You are known, completely, deeply, intimately. Every detail of your life is seen, every tear is counted, every ache in your heart is understood. You may feel overlooked by people, but you are never overlooked by the one who made you. And while fear magnifies the shadows, faith turns your eyes to the light that never goes out. It's not always easy to listen to that voice of faith. The whisper of fear can be relentless, and when you're weary, it's the loudest thing in the room. But faith is not about pretending your pain isn't real. It's about remembering that your pain is not the whole story. Faith doesn't deny the storm. It declares that you are not facing it alone. It doesn't ignore the darkness. It affirms that even here, in this very place, you are being held. Think about what it means to be held. When a child is afraid, they don't need all the answers. They just need to know someone bigger and stronger has them in their arms. That's what faith is. A trust that you are being carried even when your legs can't take another step. It's the assurance that even when the ground beneath you feels shaky, you are supported by hands that will not let you fall. And to be seen, that's something our hearts long for deeply. There is such power in knowing you are truly seen, not just for the smile you put on for the world, but for the reality beneath it. You are seen in your weariness, in your doubts, in your tears, in the moments when you don't know what to pray anymore. Being seen means you don't have to hide or pretend. It means your struggles are acknowledged and your heart is understood without judgment. This is why fear loses its grip when faith takes hold. Fear isolates, but faith connects. Fear says you're on your own, but faith assures you there's never been a moment you've walked this road by yourself. Fear tells you no one notices, but faith says your life is fully known and deeply valued. When you stand in that truth, something shifts. The storm might still rage, but it no longer defines you. The valley may still be deep, but you walk through it knowing you are not abandoned. Fear may keep trying to whisper its lies, but faith becomes the louder voice in your spirit, the one that drowns out despair with hope, the one that reminds you that no darkness is too thick for God's presence to reach through. So even now, in the very place where fear has been loud, let your heart lean into the truth that you are held and you are seen. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And you are certainly not alone. There is something profoundly comforting in knowing that nothing you've gone through has been overlooked. Not one tear you've cried has been lost to the ground unnoticed. Not one sigh of your heart has disappeared into the air without being heard. Even the prayers you couldn't put into words, those quiet cries in the middle of the night, have reached the ears of the one who loves you more than you could ever imagine. Sometimes we think that because no one else saw, no one else heard, or no one else understood, then maybe it didn't matter. But it matters, you matter, and your pain matters. Life has a way of pushing us into moments where we feel unseen and unheard. Maybe you've been walking through something that feels too heavy to share with anyone else. Maybe you've told people, but they didn't really understand, and so you've learned to carry it silently. You've trained yourself to smile through the ache, to function through the fatigue, to keep going while your soul quietly bleeds. But just because others can't see the weight you carry doesn't mean it's invisible. Your Creator has seen every drop of that pain. Even the smallest details of your life are known. Every step you take, every moment you pause, every time you almost fall but somehow find the strength to keep moving. There's never been a moment where you've been left to wander without guidance, even when it felt like you were walking blind. Sometimes we don't realize we're being guided until we look back and see how certain moments lined up, how certain doors opened and others closed, how what we thought was a detour was actually the path leading us exactly where we needed to go. It's in the stillness of those quiet, unnoticed moments that this truth becomes even more real. Every time you've whispered, "I don't know what to do," someone has been listening. Every time you felt too weak to take the next step, you are given just enough strength to keep moving. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's intentional care. That's a presence so constant and so attentive that nothing, absolutely nothing, slips past its notice. And the beauty of this truth is that it works in both our lowest valleys and our highest moments. When you're weeping in the dark, you are seen. When you're celebrating in the light, you are seen. When you feel completely lost and unsure which way to go, you are being quietly guided, step by step, toward what is good and right for you. It's like walking with someone who knows the terrain better than you do. They don't just point out the big turns. They watch your footing on every stone, steadying you so you won't slip. We live in a world where it's easy to feel like you're just another face in the crowd, just another story among millions. But you are not just a number. You are intimately known. Your tears are not statistics. They are moments of your life that have been held with tenderness. Your silent cries are not echoes fading into the air. They are heard in real time with real compassion. Your steps are not random. They are part of a path that is unfolding with purpose. It's important to remember that guidance doesn't always mean clarity in the moment. Sometimes it means being led through fog, one step at a time, trusting that you're being taken somewhere meaningful even if you can't see it yet. And while you're in that fog, those tears you cry and those whispers you make, they are still seen, still heard, still guiding the way forward. This is why you can walk with confidence even when you don't have all the answers. You can rest in the assurance that you are not navigating this life alone or unnoticed. Every part of your journey, every heartbreak, every joy, every moment of uncertainty is held in the hands of the one who sees, hears, and guides without fail. Every tear is noticed, every silent cry is heard, and every step is guided. There are seasons in life when the way forward feels hidden, when you can't see more than a single step in front of you. You try to plan, you try to map out your future, but everything looks uncertain, clouded, or out of reach. It's like walking in the dark with no clear markers, no signs to tell you where you are or how much farther you have to go. In moments like that, it's easy to think you're lost, drifting without direction. But just because you can't see the path doesn't mean you're not on it. Sometimes the journey to hope and restoration doesn't come with a visible blueprint. It unfolds one moment at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. You may not know the destination yet, but you are being guided there in ways you might not recognize until later. Think about it. How many times in your life have you only understood the reason for something after you've come through it? You look back and suddenly see how each twist, each detour, each pause was actually moving you closer to something better than you imagined. We often want a straight, well-lit road. We want clarity and certainty. But life rarely works that way. The seasons where the path is hidden are often the ones where the most important growth happens within us. When you can't see the outcome, you're invited to trust, and trust builds strength. Trust deepens resilience. Trust shapes your faith into something that isn't based on what you can see, but on what you believe is being worked out for you. Sometimes being led means being slowed down. We don't always like that part. We want to run ahead to get to the resolution faster. But the truth is, rushing can cause us to miss what we need to learn along the way. Slower seasons may feel frustrating, but they're often necessary for healing, preparation, and alignment. It's in those pauses that our hearts are readied for what's coming next. And restoration, real restoration, isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about renewing it, making it whole, and often making it even better than before. That process takes time. If you're walking through pain, disappointment, or loss, it can be hard to imagine feeling whole again. But step by step, unseen hands are guiding you toward that place, even if all you can do right now is take the next small step in front of you. Think of it like a mountain trail covered in fog. You may not see the peak, but the path is still there under your feet. Each step you take is bringing you closer to the view, whether you realize it or not. The fog doesn't change the destination. It just changes what you can see right now. And maybe, in a strange way, the fog is a gift. because it forces you to focus on the present moment instead of worrying about the whole journey all at once. Even in your uncertainty, there are quiet confirmations that you are being led, an encouraging word at just the right time, an opportunity you didn't expect, a strength that rises in you when you thought you had none left. These are reminders that you are not wandering aimlessly. You are moving step by step toward a place of hope you may not yet be able to picture, but that is very real and very possible. So when the path ahead is hidden and your questions feel bigger than your answers, don't give up. Keep taking the next step, however small. Keep believing that restoration is not just a dream. It's a promise being worked out in your life, even now. The road may feel uncertain, but your direction is sure. Even when you can't see the path ahead, you are being led toward hope and restoration. When the winds rise and the waves crash around you, it can be hard to believe that you're not facing it all alone. Storms have a way of consuming our attention. They roar so loudly that it's difficult to hear anything else, and they shake the ground so violently that you can start to doubt if there's any stability left beneath your feet. The lightning flashes, the rain falls in sheets, and all you can think about is surviving the moment. In times like that, it's easy to feel like you've been abandoned. But the truth is, the storm doesn't mean you've been left. It means you're in a place where you will see just how constant that presence really is. There's something about being in the middle of a storm that strips away all illusions of control. You realize how small you are in comparison to the forces against you. And it's in that humility that you become most aware of your need for something greater than yourself. The presence that walks with you doesn't just show up when the sun is shining. It is right there in the chaos, in the downpour, in the moments when you think you can't take another wave crashing over you. And here's the thing, storms don't scare that presence away. They don't weaken it, they don't diminish it, and they certainly don't erase it. If anything, storms reveal it more clearly. Because it's one thing to believe you're not alone when everything is calm. It's another to experience that truth when everything is shaking. In the storm, you begin to see signs you might have missed before. The quiet reassurance in your spirit, the unexpected strength to endure one more day, the gentle reminders that you are still being held steady even when the world feels like it's falling apart. The storm may change your surroundings, but it cannot change the presence that walks with you. You may lose things along the way, lands, expectations, even relationships, but you will never lose the one who has promised to stay. And this presence isn't passive. It's not just watching from a distance. It's active, guiding your steps, calming your fears, and even using the storm to bring you to a place you couldn't have reached otherwise. Sometimes storms reroute us. They push us away from paths we thought we wanted, away from comfort zones we didn't realize were holding us back. The wind may seem destructive, but it might also be moving you towards something stronger, safer, and more aligned with your true purpose. You might not see it in the middle of the storm, but looking back, you'll realize that every gust, every wave, and every flash of lightning was part of a journey that shaped you into someone more resilient than you ever imagined. And while the storm is raging, that presence is your anchor. You may still feel the pull of the current, but you won't be swept away. You may still be drenched by the rain, but you won't drown. Even when visibility is low and you can't see more than a few feet ahead, you are still being led through the chaos toward calmer waters. The beauty of surviving a storm is that it changes the way you see future ones. You realize that no matter how fierce they seem, they cannot take away what matters most. That constant companionship, that unshakable love, that guiding presence. The next time the clouds gather, you'll remember that you've been here before, and you made it through, not because the storm wasn't real, but because you weren't alone in it. Life will bring storms, some short, some long, some that feel like they'll never end. But none of them have the power to erase the one truth that will always remain. The storms in life do not erase the presence that walks with you through them. There are moments in life when the night feels endless. You look around, and it seems as though the light has been swallowed up completely. The silence can be deafening, the shadows overwhelming, and the weight of uncertainty almost unbearable. In those hours, it's easy to believe that this darkness is all there will ever be. But the truth is, no matter how deep the night, morning is already on its way. You may not see it yet, you may not feel it yet, but the dawn is coming, and its arrival is guaranteed. The deepest nights often come after seasons of loss, heartbreak, or disappointment. They leave you wondering if you'll ever feel joy again, if you'll ever be able to breathe without the heaviness in your chest. But just because you can't see the light doesn't mean it's gone. Just because you can't yet see the horizon doesn't mean the sun has stopped moving toward it. The rhythm of creation itself tells us this truth. Night does not last forever. It never has, and it never will. Think about how the dawn comes. It doesn't rush in with fanfare or blinding light. It begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. One moment the sky is black, and the next there's a faint glow on the edge of the world. Slowly, colors start to return, the air shifts, and life begins to stir. That's often how hope works, too. In your deepest night, it may not come all at once. It may start as the smallest flicker, an encouraging word from a friend, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of peace in the middle of your chaos. Those small glimmers are proof that the night is losing its grip. It's important to remember that the promise of the dawn isn't based on how you feel in the moment. You might feel like the darkness is permanent, but feelings are not the same as truth. The truth is that the story of your life has already been written with a new day in mind. The ending has been determined, and it's not one of endless night. It's one of light breaking through, of renewal, of restoration. The sun doesn't need your permission to rise. It's already been set in motion. And while you wait in the night, something is happening within you too. The night is not wasted time. It's in the darkness that roots grow deep. It's in the quiet that strength is forged. You may not realize it now, but you are being prepared for the moment the light breaks. Your perspective will be sharper, your gratitude deeper, your faith stronger because you have endured what you thought would break you. Sometimes we resist the night because we can't see its purpose. We beg for the light to return instantly, and when it doesn't, we assume we've been forgotten. But what if the night is actually the place where the dawn is prepared? What if every moment in the darkness is shaping you to see and appreciate the light in a way you never could before? The same God who set the sun in place is the same one who has promised that your dawn will come. That promise isn't dependent on your strength, your ability, or your circumstances. It's already written. You may feel like you're at the very end of yourself, too tired to keep going, too disheartened to believe. But just like the traveler who cannot see the sunrise while standing in the valley, you are still moving toward that horizon, whether you realize it or not. The light will return, and when it does, it will be all the more beautiful because of the night you endured. So when you find yourself in the deepest night, remember this: the darkness is not forever. The silence is not forever. The pain is not forever. Your dawn is already written, and nothing, not fear, not doubt, not the weight of this moment, can stop it from coming. No matter how dark the night or fierce the storm, you have never walked a single step unseen or alone. Every tear, every cry, every moment is leading you toward the light that has already been promised. Hold on. Your dawn is coming, and hope is already on the horizon.